Hi, this is Masood Vatandoust, broker with Keller Williams and the publisher of the On the House magazine. And today we are with John Thistle, and just going to have a chat about what you do, John, and what you offer, the services that you offer, and so on. So tell us a bit about your business and what you do.
Well, I'm pleased that we are Newcastle's original audiology clinic.
Mm-hmm.
We've been here since 2011 when our doors opened, and we've been serving Newcastle, Bowmanville, Clarington, the surrounding areas in terms of hearing tests, hearing aid fittings, follow-up care, earwax removal, pretty well everything to do with the ears.
Right, right. So when somebody comes to you, what's the process that you go through?
Well, most people who come here, there's some degree of concern. There's a spouse that's been making some comments that maybe they're having some difficulty, or they've noticed a few situations here and there where they're maybe in noise or other various scenarios where they're having some difficulty. So they then come in and they schedule a hearing test.
Mm-hmm.
We bring them in then for the hearing test. I start with otoscopy, so I take a look in their ears, make sure the ears are clear. We do some pressure tests, and then we do a complete evaluation in the sound booth where we check how their hearing is.
Mm-hmm.
Once we've completed the test, we go through the results and explain to them what the results indicate as to whether there is, whether there appears to be a hearing loss or whether things are fine. And if there is a course of treatment that is recommended, we go through that recommendation then with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically that involves hearing aids, but certainly not in all scenarios. So you can have someone, for example, with a very mild hearing loss where it doesn't yet warrant intervention in terms of hearing aids, but they're having difficulty with television. So we can look at some wireless solutions, headphones to help with the television.
Okay. You mentioned spouse sending them here. Do you deal with selective hearing at all, or?
That's an area I try to stay as far away from as possible.
Right.
But and you know, that's obviously that's a subject that gets laughed about and joked around with a whole lot. But it really selective hearing in that sense is actually a very, very true thing. I joke that as men we're affected with the XY issue, and that is that we can do one thing very well, but we cannot focus on two things simultaneously.
Right.
So if you're sitting watching the television and then your spouse says something, you're not necessarily going to catch what they've said, not because you're selecting not to listen to them, but your attention is diverted towards the television.
The sports is more important than...
No, not more important. Not more important. Just happens to have the attention of that at that moment.
Right, yeah, yeah. And you are a Newcastle resident yourself.
Absolutely.
And, I know you moved here, so
yes,
obviously
my wife and we moved here a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
She's a teacher at Newcastle Public, and we're raising our family here. We have two small children.
Great, great. And I know for a fact that you are pretty involved in the community, and other than your business, obviously you are involved with the community and do a lot of good things here. So
well, and that's one of the great things that Newcastle has to afford, is that so many residents are so involved in the community, and that's what makes the village such a special place, and that's why we wanted to raise our family here. And I think that it would be unreasonable to expect to receive that generosity without giving back.
Great. Well, I thank you. I know you've been involved quite heavily, and with a couple of organizations that I'm involved with, and you're always there for the community and everybody else. So appreciate your generosity, and nice to have you in this community.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great, great.